is up? Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day. Back with some more Final Fantasy 16 gameplay for you. And today I'm going to be talking about the whole new trailer and all the updates and information released regarding the final DLC of Final Fantasy 16, which is the Rising Tide. One I have definitely been anticipating, waiting for ever since I knew it was a thing in the first place. So let's get right into it. We finally have, well, I guess the most important thing, a release date for the DLC, is this is coming out April 18th. So basically a little under a month from now. It's priced at $20. This DLC takes place before the ending, which is going to invoke a little interesting thing for me personally, because having another icon ability, the Leviathan, in you before the final battle, I wonder if that's possibly going to change things, or are they just going to explain at the end of this DLC, because that would be a huge thing. But I have my theories about that I'll get to eventually. You obviously travel to a new land. The level cap gets raised in this DLC. 10 levels based on which mode you're playing on, the first mode or the Final Fantasy mode. So that's always nice. You also have a whole new challenging new endgame mode with 20 stages to fight through, which they say if you're able to beat all 20 stages of an S rank, you even get a hidden boss at the end, which they did not reveal. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do with that. One of the cool things I also heard is that you have new characters. One of the characters was actually plays alongside you in terms of a new ally, which I think is really cool because she looked really cool in the trailer. Shula is her name, so I'm curious to see how that whole dynamic is going to work, not just in terms of playing alongside her, but also the dynamic with the party. And also, one of the other cool things about it, and I'm wondering, is that there's also going to be a more centric on Jill. There's going to be a lot of story on Jill because this is coming from the Northern Lands. And it's nice to have more Jill content because I definitely do love Jill a lot. And I feel like, you know, a lot of people would definitely benefit seeing this kind of stuff. And I'm wondering if this new character is going to have any connection to it because they're obviously coming here to try to save the dominant of water. So it'll be nice to see that. Maybe see things from Jill's character in past, even before we see her first in the events of Final Fantasy 16 as a kid. But now let's get into some of my personal thoughts of what I think about all this, what I would like to see, as well as some new information I've learned at the time of watching the whole trailer about it. In terms of the new information, this one is really interesting for me personally, was that one of the directors of the DLC said that there will be an epilogue side quest that appears if you complete both the DLCs of Final Fantasy 16. You know, the Echoes was the first one, and this one being the second. And that this DLC will basically be a epilogue as a way of saying thank you to those who played both DLCs, and saying that it'll be one of those quests that make you think, oh, it was like that. I don't know what that necessarily means, but it kind of gives me a little hope for something I personally would like to see, because one of my biggest things, and I'm not saying it's even related to that, is I really hope that this whole DLC, maybe not, maybe it's just a fool's entry, it gives me a little closure with the one major thing I definitely didn't like in Final Fantasy 16, other than the whole lack of party camaraderie, was just that a clear-cut, conclusive ending. I didn't like the ambiguous ending. I don't want to be putting the hundreds of hours in a game and getting an ambiguous ending. Just give us an answer, and I'm hopefully they can give a solid answer, regardless of what it is. I will accept either way. It doesn't matter, but just answer it. Give us a conclusive answer, and that's something I think a lot of people have been hoping for ever since these DLCs have been answered. Maybe they'd have a little change up with the ending, or at least, at the very least, when they say epilogue, conclusive epilogue, show what everyone else is doing, because it barely showed anybody. It's just kind of lazy and fast forward, and I'm not just talking about Clive's ultimate fate, but just talking about what everyone else was doing after the events of the main game. So seeing how they're moving on, how they're progressing. So hopefully that's what that means. But that definitely got me interested. But in terms of the DLC itself, obviously you want to have cool abilities, how they mix match and everything. You obviously want to see what makes Leviathan, why it was lost and why it's come back, and how does that pertain with the main game. Does it affect the main game in any way? Because as I said, it is an iconic ability. Does that change? But one of the coolest things that the information here talks about was that Leviathan is not the only power that you get. But there is a scene in the game, in the trailer, that shows Clive with wings, and he looks very Ultima-like. And I'm wondering if this is him gaining the powers, and so maybe some of his powers is being one of the hosts for Ultima's, getting his power and stuff, and I'm wondering if that's what that is, and I could be completely wrong. I'm just speculating. I was even seeing some people saying, hey, this is absolute proof that they're going to change the ending. No, I don't think it's absolute proof at all, but it's possible, I guess. But I'm just wondering if this is only going to be a temporary thing just for that specific moment, or you're going to be able to take it through the rest of the game. But it's definitely very interesting nonetheless, because, man, with all that power, it's like, damn, I might not need the other icons, but I could be completely wrong. I could be misinterpreting the scene, because you know how a lot of these trailers, they have that deflection, or you see things out of context, so who really knows? But at the end of the day, I'm really excited to see where to go with that. Obviously, I'm excited to see the new Jill-centric story. If you don't know my earlier videos talking about Final 16, I actually wanted a Jill adventure post-game in the aftermath. I actually wanted to see her and another character I think really was severely sidelined. The character I actually compared to that looks like a Tonberry, that I thought was a Tonberry in disguise, was Yote. So I actually wanted to see some Jill Yote content, but unfortunately I didn't get that. And maybe we'll get some here. Shula looks really cool. She looks very reminiscent of another character. I want to say something from like a Final Fantasy 14, but it'd be really cool to see more what she can do and how she's involved in the plot. It'd be really cool to see her dynamic and how that fleshes with the other characters, and her purpose, obviously trying to help save the dominant of water, because that's basically your whole reason for being there. You get the letter that says that, you know, in this faraway land to the north, where ironically enough, which I'm assuming is why it's a Jill-centric story, it's in the northern lands where Jill used to come from. I'm wondering if that's all going to tie in together. Maybe they possibly know each other, but nonetheless, I'm happy that we are getting this. It looks great. It looks beautiful. It looks like it could be really well done, really well executed. And it looks like it could be satisfying, give that satisfying final chapter that I think Final Fantasy 16 really needs. Because as I said, I did enjoy this game. There were things that I loved, things I didn't necessarily care for. And it's funny because ironically enough, I'm still kind of hurry up and finish and play Rebirth, but I'm seeing the things that I liked more in Rebirth than 16, but also seeing the things I liked more in 16 than I did in Rebirth. So it's kind of funny, kind of a up and down battle between both of them. But I'm definitely happy that we're having all this content with Final Fantasy and multiple different mainline Final Fantasy games. And then you got that whole new endgame content, the 20 stages. Now, I'm not really good in ranks and everything, but I'm just curious of who the final enemy would be. Is it someone within the realms of Final Fantasy 16, or is it something in the realms of this period of any Final Fantasy? Is it something? Is there a reason why it's a secret, or is it just one of those things where you're just going to wait and see, or does it have something specific to do with the game or the story? There's a lot of possibilities of what they could do, who it could be, but overall, I'm really happy for this. And another thing that's nice to know is that we are getting more updates with this game. We're having more abilities to make side quests more easier, where as soon as you complete them, you instantly can turn them in without having to do the whole traveling thing. There's going to be more updates to your skill set, how you can set up your skills and have more sets for that. You have more customization, more options with the photo mode, more music roles. So it's getting a lot of cool things that I feel like are definitely going to make not only playing it again, picking it up again, and downloading it again a good thing, but also, you know, getting this DLC and hopefully, as I said, it could be a fool's ending. Maybe hopefully getting that satisfying, really satisfying ending. And I think we all know the ending we personally want, but just an actual answer. You know, not a inconclusive answer. Just give us an answer. All right. As I said, I'm not the biggest fan of ambiguous endings with, you know, games I put in hundreds of hours in. Just give us an answer, because as I said, I think that would be something that I can accept. And I know we all want Clive to return home to Jill. I know personally I want that, but nonetheless, that is my opinion. I want to hear your guys' opinion. What do you think about this new DLC trailer for the whole Rising Tides? Are you more excited for it? It's going to get you to re-download the game. Will you have enough gigabyte space to do it? Because that's my problem with having Rebirth already on my hard drive. But nonetheless, that is going to be it. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, and hopefully I can see you guys back on the next one. Thanks, and I'll see you all later. Peace.